So, if you're watching this video, you're probably wanting to learn how to make the best out of your current equipment. Not all of us have $5,000, $10,000 to go spend on top tier studio quality monitors. A lot of us don't have room treatment or we're living in apartments, so we're working in consumer grade headphones. I know we've all been there. So, this video is going to teach you how to make your stuff work for you, how to get the most out of your quality. So, I got three basic tips: learn your equipment, reference, use meters and analyzers. These three tips in conjunction should give you a solid outcome a good majority of the time. But the easiest thing to do is to just kind of get used to it, learn your equipment mainly. So, the song I'm going to be using is Cartoon On and On, featuring Daniel Levy. It is a great song and you should go purchase it if it's something that interests you. So, one way to learn your equipment is to use pink noise. Pink noise is like white noise, but it's filtered to where it's sonically level, meaning there's a slope in the spectrum on the frequencies. So, for example, this is pink noise. It's sloped, but it sounds balanced. So, one of the reasons that's super useful, if you have headphones or something that's a little bit hyped, let's say you're mixing on computer speakers, you can go, where do I start hearing a loss of frequencies? Where is this fighting against me? Is there a hump in any of these frequency ranges? For a lot of speakers, like cheap computer speakers, they may have a boost at 700 hertz and 4K, 4000 hertz. Reason being is so you could hear voices clearly. You may not be able to get music great quality, but voices should be nice, crisp, and clear. Well, by using this pink noise trick, you can go, okay, where are my speakers working against me? Load up an EQ. Take that EQ and then make the pink noise sound flat on your system. So go, okay, so there's a boost here, let's lower it. Oh, there's a little bit of like a weird ring going on right here. Let's get rid of it. And now you have a counter curve. So where your speakers may show you as boosted or subtracted, you have done the opposite to make it sound flat. Load that up on your master every time and mix into it. When you're done, turn it off, mix down. That should counteract your speakers a little bit. It won't do a perfect job, but you'll get pretty close. That'll allow you to have your mixes translate so you don't go, man, my speakers have no bass. So you continuously turn up the bass, turn up the bass, turn up the bass. And then you bring it to an actual good system or you take it into your car and you're like, whoa, that bass is like 90% of the volume in this track. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. You won't run into that issue because you've already corrected your speakers. Not the best way, but it does the job and it's free. So, number two, reference. Always reference. I cannot recommend it enough. If you know your track is going to be marketed to people of a certain style, find a track that's similar to yours in that style and compare. Where are your levels? Is your kick cutting as much as theirs? Is your snare cutting as much as theirs? Are the synths super good? Are they balanced? Are they wide? Is your track getting swallowed by comparison? If so, you have work to do. So now you know where to look. Also check frequency balances. Again, Vox and Go Span comes in handy for that. So now here we're going to listen to On and On from Cartoon featuring Daniel Levy, Levi, however you pronounce it. So this is the spectrum. So just by looking at it, you can see where the balances are. You could see where it's punchy. You could see the volumes things are hitting. Load up Span on your track as well. Compare them, go, okay, is mine similar or is it completely different? Is my bass totally missing compared to theirs? You can now visually see the differences between your tracks. If you're in the ballpark, you're doing great. If you're not, you now know where to look. And the last one, meters and analyzers. So right here, you'll see I'm using span. I can load up this track. I can load up it's Fruity Limiter, but Fruity Limiter is pretty terrible. I just like that I could see the transients. And lastly, BX Solo. I love BX Solo. Both Span and BX Solo are free plugins, BX Solo being from Brainworks, and Vox and Go make Span. Grab them, free, amazing, great tools to have. So I'm going to play this track, and you could check the spectrum right here. You could see where it's limited, you could see how much transient's left over, and you could check the frequency balance. The reason that's useful, so you can compare it to yours. Run yours through the same test and say, oh, I have these weird spikes happening here and there. Are they supposed to be like that, or do I need to lower them? Just check it out visually. And BX Solo, I love BX Solo. BX Solo allows you to focus on channels. So you could check your mids, you could check your side, you could check your left, you could check your right, all separately. So I mainly use the mid and side. I don't use the widening. Don't use it. It's not great. But if I want to listen to this and go, okay, let's check the center channel of on and on. You could hear it's mainly vocal. There's not a lot of synth in the center. And it just works out that way. But you could also go, let's check the sides. A lot of the effects, harmonies, etc. are on the sides, keeping them out of the way of the lead vocal. Check your tracks. BX Solo, Vox and Go Span. Maybe check some pink noise, make your own contour curve to fix your speakers. Learn your equipment. So these tips all in combination should bring you to the final outcome, which is mixes that translate, mixes that are able to sound huge. It may not be perfect and it may take a lot of adjusting, but once you get it done, you should be able to push out a quality mix on pretty much any system. So have fun mixing. Peace.